Hey everybody, I'm here with Erin Schiller. She is the VP of Title. Thank you very much for taking time to speak with me today.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, I just wanted to start doing these webcasts to kind of change the news feed. It's really focused on like memes and just negative stuff that's going on, and I wanted to change it to something positive and keep us looking forward. So I'll start with kind of talking about what I ask myself every day, and that's what am I doing to move my business forward? What am I doing to add value in all the relationships that I have? And how can I better serve? Do you have anything that you can add to that?
I think that we definitely need to just be more open to things that are different and adapt and adjust. And, we definitely need to nurture our clients and our friends and be there for everyone during this time. And I think if we can do that, then we're going to make it through this.
All right, awesome. For people who don't know, can you give a quick breakdown of what Escrow and Title does for the client?
Well, yeah. So there's two different factors. We have escrow and title, which are two different departments. The escrow department handles and works with the real estate agents, lenders, buyers, sellers, and they're kind of that, well, they are a neutral third party that kind of just keeps the transaction together and communicates with everybody. So we definitely, on the escrow side, we're more involved in the transaction and talking to everyone and making sure that we've got all invoices in, we've got all of the documentation we need, and then we also do all the signings and document delivery and also the final closing. We're the ones that close the transaction. Then you have the title side, which is the title department, which we're very proud of. We have one of the very few companies in town that search and examine the title search of the property locally here. So we have 15 employees that work in our title department. And
Okay.
so they are search and examine all the way back, sometimes from 1892 to forward. On every single document that's ever been recorded on that property to make sure there's no break in the chain of title or if there's no encumbrances. And we issue a thing called a title insurance policy through our title department when we close the transaction, which means that buyer has free and clear title. So we clean up all of that stuff on the title side and escrow side prior to close. And then when we go on record, and that's something that I'll share with you, I don't want to go off topic here a little bit, Lee, but
Okay.
right now we've been e-recording for years. And so that's one of the great things is we're not physically going down to the recorder's office to record your buyer and seller's client or properties. We're actually doing it digitally, and we have been since I think 2011. So, this is great that we are able to do that from the recorder's office. So when all the documents get in, we get the client signed, we still have to do wet signature on the deed of trust and note and deed. So those three documents, or there are multiple documents, have to be uploaded to a program, which is then recorded through the recorder's office, e-recording. So
And
that's
wet
kind of the
signature
process.
is actual physical signature on the document.
Yeah, so right
Okay.
now, our biggest frustration is our government and our state still, and the lenders still require wet signature. So we can't, they can't accept a digital signature, unfortunately. So we can get all the other documents signed, but the deed of trust, and the note. So that's kind of one of those holdups right now because we're like, you can sign everything, but then you have to sign wet signature of these documents. So hopefully, with what's going on in our world today, that maybe those things will change and we'll get a little bit more forward thinking.
Yeah, actually, speaking of forward thinking, what as a real estate agent can I do to help title and escrow with your guys' new normal? What are some of the new processes in place that I should know about? And how can I help how can I help make it smoother for the clients and all my other partners involved?
I think everyone needs to be calm. That's probably calm
Yes.
and understanding. We're all in this. We're all experiencing a new norm, which is an adjustment. We need to adapt. And, I think communicating with your clients that, okay, so this is how this might go on your signing. It's not going to be the normal, you're coming in, and Lee, you're really good at actually showing up to your signings and being there for your clients, and thank you.
Yeah.
But we aren't doing that. We're actually doing more digital delivery of the documents, having them review the documents, and then possibly meeting them outside at their car, taking their notary and getting our notary book out and taking a picture of their, license, having them sign the deed of trust, the note, kind of like a drive-by signing in a way.
Yeah, you know what? We had a closing. I closed a transaction with your Carson City office yesterday, and even though I wasn't there, the clients were on the phone with me. We could, I'm still there to answer any questions that they can have, and that's something that you guys still allow too. So it's not.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I'm happy that we can do that. I mean, I think
Yeah.
with technology we're able to do that. So it's just, I think, just expectation, and that what we knew back a week ago or 2 weeks ago is not the same as it is today.
No.
And every day we're getting
Right.
new direction, right? Like every day
Yes.
we change. Like I just got some news on something else that, we need to change the way we're doing our business. So, and I'm not used to working from home. Honestly, this is,
Yeah.
not the norm for me.
Yeah, me neither. We're both people persons, and we talk about that every time we see each other. It's like, I love what I do, surrounded
Yeah.
by hundreds of people, and now we're just like in our rooms, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, and I think,
but
going back to your question, it's about being patient, understanding, and willing to adjust and willing to work with everybody, because you've got situations going on with buyers and sellers too on transactions that's out of our control, right? And so, we had a situation where we had some clients that just flew in from another country, and we can't meet with them. So we had to find another solution. And it might not be the solution everybody wants, but everybody's just going to have to adjust and understand for the protection of everybody, because this is something that in our lifetime we've never ever experienced. A pandemic is not something that everybody's used to. So I think the thing is we just need to be proactive instead of reactive.
Absolutely. I agree. So I've got a couple more questions for you.
You bet.
Since we're kind of in this like limbo almost, it feels like, and business has slowed down for some, real estate is happening. So I'm glad we went over the processes of how to make it still happen and go through. But what did you see after the last contraction that the dominant agents were doing that came out ahead? The people who aren't really busy right now, what can you tell the agents, the lenders, to get ready to just sprint out the gate as soon as things start going again?
Right. So I've gone through a lot of things. 9/11, went through the financial crisis, went through REO and short sale days, even going all the way back to my parents' real estate agents in the late 70s, early 80s, and we had 21% interest rates. Okay.
Wow.
And my parents lost their business and their real estate business. So, my mom ended up going back into real estate. She just jumped right in and became a top producer in the Reno area. She retired many years ago, but she still, to this day follows real estate. But the one thing that I noticed is back when, and I'll use an example, when one of our escrow officers said, hey, we're going to see short sales. And this was back in 2008. And I remember a broker in the room leading a big meeting. We had like 150 people in this room. We were teaching them about short sale. And this broker says, we're not going to be doing short sales.
Right.
We're not going to do REOs. And I think everybody just needs to adjust to a thing called shift. You're shifting, you're changing, and our business is always going to shift. And if you don't jump in and accept it, then don't be in real estate. Do
Hmm.
something else. And I think that is one of the things. You just have to dig in, jump in with both feet. Don't put one foot in, put both feet in, and make some sacrifice. There's gonna be some times where you have to make some changes you don't want to in your life. You're gonna have to possibly, watch and educate yourself. And I think education right now, which is great, Lee, is the fact that everything is online now.
Yes.
You can you can learn so much about everything online. And so I think just adjusting and digging in and jumping in and just accept that there is going to be a change, and we're ready for it. You have to be proactive. Everybody gets reactive. Well, what could happen in this pandemic right now, and what could happen with our real estate world? There's a lot of things that could happen, but if we start seeing a direction of like short sales, then learn about short sales. Okay.
Right.
If you're going to learn, if there's REOs coming, then learn about the REO business. But I kind of have a feeling in our market, and this is kind of my thought, is Reno, people still want to move here.
Yes.
We still have jobs. We still have a pretty good economy. Yes, we're going to be hurt and hit, and it's going to be different, but still people want to move here. So I have a feeling that we may see an increase in listings coming on the market as soon as this is over, like a major rush of everybody either listing their properties and people moving out of other states next to us because they've gotten hit really hard, right? So I think this is where I think our economy locally will be okay. It's not going to be as hit as most markets. That's kind of my feeling.
Okay, that was really good advice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet.
Excuse me for just a second. I have to cough, but every time you cough, everyone's like, "Ooh,"
What do you got?
Yeah, let's hold it in. So, you've done one of the reasons you're one of the first people that I'm talking to is you really helped me get started in real estate. And I want everyone to know what you can do to help other agents right now. You've given me a lot of tools, and there's some stuff that can help, especially with the questions from the buyers. You've got a great calculator that I use all the time. You've also got a little pocket profile for properties. Can you go into that just a little bit real quick?
You bet. So one of the things that I love about our company is we're very technology savvy, and we invest in programs that will help our real estate agents in turn help their buyers and sellers. And I think that's really important to invest in technology. One of the oldest technology apps that we started with, I think in 2007, 2008, was Ticor Agent. It's a buyer's cost and seller's net sheet, which you're referring to. And it's amazing because, like, just the other day somebody said, well, I want to net this when I sell my house. So there's like a sell to net feature in this calculator.
Yes.
There's so many different calculators. Like if someone says, well, I can only afford $2,000 a month, then you can actually get what home they could afford with that $2,000 and still have all the closing cost fees and the lender fees in there. So, and it has transfer tax and all that. So Ticor Agent is probably the leading app and website program that we have at Ticor. The other one that you referred to is Pocket Profile, property information at your fingertips. So if you're in front of a house and you put the address in, it will tell you property ownership. And it actually is nationwide. So if you are in another state, you want to pull that information, you can. And then we also have farming capabilities. So we have 6 different farming programs. I know this is crazy, and my customer service department goes, Erin, why do you have that many? Because I'm like, well, there's never one program that has all the resources all in one. I know that's weird. So my feeling is I like to cater it to the real estate agent and what they need. So we have different farming tools and resources to provide our real estate friends and partners. And then, you know, I mean, there's so many other tools. Breakthrough Broker is another one that is amazing. We have also CRMs that we can set an agent up with. Real Geeks is one of them. Sync is another. So there's so many programs that we've vetted as well to make sure that they're good companies, not just, you know, just fly-by-nights. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of programs. And I think the thing that the agents need to know is there is a resource. They just need to reach out to myself or my sales team and ask for it. And the only thing we ask is for the business. I mean, and Lee, you've been awesome. Thank you. You've been so
Yeah,
loyal, and we
no problem.
appreciate that, you know, because this is, we invest in you and you invest in us. And that's what that partnership's all about.
Right. I mean, one of the things that I've been doing is farming, especially right now. People are really appreciative, and I'm not like calling them and saying, "Hey, it's time to," I'm just really reaching out and letting them know that I'm here. And a lot of them have questions about real estate, and just it's been cool. A lot of good contacts have been made. Um, so
And in
yeah,
farming, just in one of these, Lee, not to interrupt, but
no problem.
with farming, you have to be strategic.
Oh,
You know,
for sure.
most people, you don't want to be sending something out that is like, oh, I'm going to send 250 postcards to these addresses. You have to think about who you're sending it to and what the outcome is going to be, and what your mission is. What are you trying to communicate to that property owner or that renter? And so, you know, you have to have, I guess we call it the message of the moment. You know, you have to have a message. And
Right.
right now, you know, we have different messages going on out there. So we just have to be clear on what our message is when we farm out.
Yeah, I mean, the two things that I tell myself when I'm farming or doing anything like that is, what do I stand for, and how am I going to show up?
Right.
Those two things. You can kind of be laissez-faire and not make a positive impact and actually, agitate the situation, or you could be a calming voice and really, really help and add value.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, I guess, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we cap this off here?
No, I think, you know, I think the number one thing is everybody just be smart, stay home, try and alleviate being around people right now. I think I use the analogy ripping the Band-Aid. You know, our government's trying to rip the Band-Aid now before it gets worse.
Right.
And, you know, and I know this is really frustrating for everyone, but I think if we can just all band together as a community and help each other, that is the most important thing. You know, care for each other. And to be honest, maybe this was a wake-up call for everyone. I think we were, this is a correction in our universe, and in a lot of different ways. And so however you want to look at it, you know, spiritually, you know, however you want to take this, we just need to know we'll get through it. We've always gone through it. Look at our world now. I mean, you know, what a month ago we were like, things are going to be great. 2020,
Oh,
where,
yeah.
you know, business is
Everyone
awesome.
was high-fiving
Yeah,
each other. It's like, high
right.
five, high five.
Everybody's good. We're
You're
all good.
awesome.
And
I'm
then it's like,
awesome. Yeah,
what? You know,
I know.
but I think it was a correction. I think it
Yes.
was, hey, wake up, everybody,
Yeah.
because you know what? You guys were getting way too cocky. And I think we just all need to be, you know, this is a correction. This is going to change the way we do our world, our business, and maybe this is going to be a good thing. Maybe right now it's not, but down the road we're going to say, okay, I understand where this led, or why we have had a pandemic happen.
Yeah. I think, what I'm seeing is a couple of things. And I think the sentiment out there for everybody is, there's a saying that the strongest survive or the smartest survive. But when you look at business, like businesses that make it through, that have stood the test of time, it's the businesses that have adapted that
Right.
survive and
Right.
thrive. And that's what I'm trying to do right now with you. And I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you
And,
bet.
you
Thank
know,
you.
yeah, we'll do this again. This is
We're
fun.
gonna we're gonna make it, and we're gonna
Yes,
kick some, you know what, and it's
absolutely.
gonna be awesome. So thank you. I appreciate you asking me to be on this call with you.
Yeah, thank you. Take
All
care,
right.
Erin.
All right. Take care.